Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Molinda Jae, and I'm here to talk about, um, of course, MLK Day, but also in remembrance and as an observance for MLK Day. I wanted to utilize this day as well as this time and from now on to of course, raise awareness of what had transpired in Selma, Alabama, due to, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself has done some activism there as well. And it is a prime location for the politicians to do their little photo ops and whatever the case may be after they do their little photo ops when they're campaigning. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to share my screen for you guys and gals. Miss Allie Nettles, because she from what I have read so far, she is a native of Selma, Alabama. And when I was a youngin, I used to live in Selma, Alabama as well, and it's a very small town. Okay. I remember going to the Winn-Dixie there, with my mom, going shopping and stuff like that. But of course, on to this thread. As you can see, she quoted or retweet, excuse me, Philip Lewis of this aerial view of the disastrous tornado that slammed through Selma, Alabama, as a giant storm system had blown through the south. Okay, and this was as of the 13th of January 2023. I am literally recording this at around 11:05 on January 16th, 2023. Yeah, I know it's been a long day. However, she has stated within her quoted tweet, Selma has struggled economically for years. This tornado will put our town's progress back 20 years. This is a long thread, but I'm begging you to read it. So I'm going to take the time to read this thread to you all and see what we can do as a collective to help bring back Selma to where it needs to be in the present age, okay? So Ms. Allie has stated, every year, thousands of tourists visit Selma to see historic American landmarks like the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which is the famous bridge that the politicians go and do their photo ops there as, a tactic to the Black community per se, the melanated community per se, in regards to getting your votes and yada, 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 just to get the spot that they are campaigning for. Also, the Civil War battlefields, excuse me, and the manufacturing centers, as well as restored burial sites of enslaved Americans, old live oak cemetery, homes to legends like F.S. Fitzgerald that is frequently attended to. And then she also stated within this, continuation on the thread, just weeks before this tornado, Representative Terry Sewell had helped secure major at National Park Services funds to preserve many of these sites, as Selma has struggled with funds to upkeep them locally. Many of these places are now severely damaged, and I believe from what I was viewing, the damages of the where the tornado had left was that this place here is the Sternovit Hall. Okay. Furthermore, on down the tweet, it says, when I'm home, I always meet tourists who is passing through, but it's usually just that. They're simply passing through because that's just how small the town is. Also, it's rare that they have a plan to spend more than an afternoon in our town and return to the bigger nearby cities like Birmingham or Montgomery, because excuse me, Selma is like literally in between both of them. So Furthermore, on down, it says it's a problem at times because many locals, it leaves many locals bitter. Granted, our lodging capacity is limited, but options are there. For dining, it's the same thing. The locals have been putting in the work to change that reality. And then further on down, it says, as for my fellow Democrats / DC politicians who may not know, Selma is a major campaign spot for many Democratic candidates. I honestly don't know if they have ever actually stopped by a local restaurant / business after getting our photo ops by the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I'm just going to click on a couple. Well, I'm just going to click on through. You got the VP Kamala Harris there. And it's a good, like I said, it's a good photo op area. Okay. Photo op landmark. And thanks to the courtesy of almoney.com for the photos. You got the current Secretary of Department of Transportation. There we go. Pete Buttigieg right here. And then you got, hello, Bernie Sanders, Feel the Burn, Bernie Sanders, that is taking his picture where the bridge is at. And then you also have, of course, Miss Warren and a couple others that is pictured by the historically famous bridge, okay? Furthermore, she writes, I write this to all say, if you ever been to Selma, you know how special it is. Much of what you probably saw on your trip have been severely damaged. The city has never been fully equipped to even fix potholes downtown. It's a mystery to me how we will rebuild. So what I'm getting from that little paragraph there is that the city or the town is so small and so far behind that they don't have enough equipment before the tornado even hit them. They did not have enough funding as well. They didn't have enough funding to help with the land preservation of the historical sites and to keep them keep the upkeeping right to a standard to where tourists can continue on visiting them, as well as doing the bed and breakfast there as well. Just a little tidbit idea. But also the city does not have enough fully enough equipment or no equipment at all to fix the potholes. So that is a major red flag right there. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Also, she has said, if you ever visit and maybe now realize you didn't do more than stop by, our little town needs your help now. Help us rebuild and restore the little place you saw. Here are a few ways to help. And she had posted, the locals have already started a GoFundMe page. Here is one that I know is legit. So there's a GoFundMe.com. And of course, I'll click on it once I get done with the other resources that she had listed. So the first one is the GoFundMe account that she has listed under her thread. The next one is donate/buy Selma merch at the city's Welcome Center. And of course, she has the Selma Center Square dot site website, so you can purchase some merch there or donate. Also donate to the Voting Rights Museum and Institute, and there's a link there. Once you go to her Twitter thread, and I'll leave the link in the description box below. That way you can just tap it and it'll go automatically to her page. I'll make sure I do that. Also, it says make a plan to visit the town once it's safe. Go invest in the locals and try to spend the night at the St. James Hotel. Okay, so another way to help out the citizens is plan a road trip down to Selma once it is safe to go there, because right now they are still recovering. They're still removing the the power lines that are still active, the trees that have fallen, and much more. And of course, if you want to stay there, spend the night at the St. James Hotel, because that is I believe that is a locally owned hotel that will not only help bring some economy back, and you're doing business exchange to not only the business owner, but you're also helping out. And then explore the town by visiting the local restaurants and businesses that um, the patrons host, right? Furthermore, it says, as we say at home, Selma, Lord help us. And that's the end. And then, of course, there is the Red Cross responding to the tornado that happened there, where you get more info at. Another local organization that is doing relief efforts as well is the Black Belt Benefit Group. So you can just, of course, take a picture of that QR code right there that I have pointing right there, or you could just visit that thread and tap that link, and it'll send you on to the Instagram and I guess the website as well. And then, I said I was going to click on this. So I'm clicking on this, and here is the GoFundMe as of right now. So like I said, it is it is the 16th of January. So it's literally MLK Day, late in the evening as I'm recording this. And so far they have raised $3,885, and they are raising $50,000. $50,000 is the goal. The team fundraiser is hosted by Rex Jones and Angela Willard. They are the ones that's organizing the fundraiser, and it's basically raising money for those in need in Selma, Alabama. They choose their beneficiary, and of course they feel it's the perfect choice to do. And you can go on to the website Edmund, let's say Edmund IT or EdmundItEmissions.org. And of course, here's a video for you all to look at, just to make sure and do a little bit more research before you donate to these people. But far as I can see, she said this particular GoFundMe is definitely legit for you all to go donate. Okay. Now, why is Selma so critical? As she stated before, a lot of politicians, especially the Democratic candidates, go there to do their photo ops because that is appealing to the melanated community, showing that they are behind the melanated community, and basically doing whatever is necessary to get our votes so they can get their spot. But I just did a little quick search on why Selma Montgomery is important, or somewhere around the lines. And because, like I said, I'm using MLK Day to raise awareness about this, because Martin Luther King Jr. himself has went to Selma himself to go do some activist work, okay, such as the March from Selma to Montgomery. It says within this article, courtesy by history.com, in the name of the African American voting rights, 3,200 civil rights demonstrators in Alabama, led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., began a historical march on Selma to Montgomery, the state's capital. Federalized Alabama National Guardsmen and FBI agents were on hand to provide safe passage for the march, which twice had been turned back by Alabama State Police at Selma's Edmund Pettus Bridge. That is why the photo op is important for those politicians, okay? In 1965, King and his Southern Christian Leadership Conference, short acronym is SCLC decided to make a small town of Selma the focus of their drive to win the voting rights for African Americans in the South. Alabama's governor at the time, George Wallace, was a vocal opponent of the African American civil rights movement, and local authorities in Selma had consistently thwarted efforts by Dallas County Voters League and the Student Nonviolence Coordinating Committee to register local Black citizens. Although Governor Wallace promised to prevent it from going forward, on March 7th, some 600 demonstrators led by the SCLC, later Hosea Williams, aka Portia Williams' grandfather, and SNCC leader John Lewis, God rest their souls, began the 54-mile march to the state capitol. After crossing Edmund Peters Bridge, they were met by Alabama state troopers and men who attacked them with nightsticks, tear gas, and whips after they refused to turn back. Several of these protesters were severely beaten and others ran from their lives. The incident was captured on national television and outraged many Americans. King, who was in Atlanta at the time, promised to return to Selma immediately and lead another attempt on March 9th. King led another marching attempt, but turned the marchers around when state troopers began again blocking the road. On March 21st, the U.S. Army troops and federalized Alabama National Guardsmen escorted the marchers across the Edmund Peters Bridge and down the highway. When the highway narrowed 2 lanes, only 300 marchers were permitted, but thousands more rejoined an Alabama Freedom March as it came to in Montgomery on March 25th. On the steps of the Alabama State Capitol, King addressed the live television cameras and a crowd of 25,000 just a few hundred feet from Dexter's Avenue Baptist Church, where he got his start as minister in 1954. And of course, that is definitely the reason why Selma is in need of our help more than ever, to help them get back into their restorative self so they can be able to catch up within the times as well as other cities around the world, or around the nation to be exact. But y'all, feel free to leave your comments down below what you think about this tragic natural disaster that happened in Selma, Alabama. I know that California has been catching it as well with the rainfall and the landslides and so forth and so on. However, Selma, Alabama, with them having the lack of resources, and of course the politicians, they go down there and do their business and then they go away until it's campaign season. Well, now is the time to put your money where your mouth is. And also for the other organizations, the other melanated organizations like the NAACP, as well as the other organization that was listed within that article, which is the SCLC as well. Are you all going to put on your bootstraps as well and visit Selma, Alabama, and see what you all can do to help contribute to bring Selma back to its normalcy and plus more, since that is one of the national landmarks in regards to not only political candidacy, but also for other people and locals that live there as well. All right, so let's see if y'all going to open up y'all wallets, okay? and not use Selma as if it's a pass-by town. Let's go ahead and utilize our resources and provide some help and assistance for Selma, Alabama, just as much as we do with the other states and cities around the country. And I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification so you know the next time I upload a video. And always remember to love thyself, know thyself, soothe thyself, so you can heal thyself. And I'll see you guys in the next one.